Hello, visionaries, and welcome to your Tuesday transformations. So, we're really excited about today's live stream. And what we've been doing is we have been giving free mini chart readings by Davidian for everybody in our community who has purchased one of our educational products. So we're really grateful for all of you and for all your support. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We're in the middle of the holiday seasons coming up, and today we're going to be looking at a mental projector. So Pam, it looks like you're already here. Woohoo! We're super excited to share this with you. And so we're going to take just a few minutes to get set up. It takes us a minute to share in the groups. And so if you are here live and you are seeing us, please let us know. If you can hear us and see us okay, give us a thumbs up or say hi in the chat. And we have a couple of quick announcements for you guys. So this Friday, we are doing a bonus class on global cycles. So for this bonus class, you do need the link. So you do need to email us at support@raquelreina.com in order to get the link, and that's this Friday at 1:30. And I'd love to have you join in. So please email me if you want to join in live. So today we are going to be looking at the chart that you should be seeing now on your screen. So if you can see the chart, please let us know. Okay, great. I'm getting some feedback. Hey, Kat. Awesome. You can see us? Okay, good, good, good. Awesome. So, Kat, I believe that we are not going live next week, but we're going live the week after that, and your chart is then. Okay, so mark your calendar. We're not going to be here next week, but we will be the week after, and your chart is the one we're doing then. Right, Davidian? Is that right? So,
Yeah,
hey,
that's right.
Andrea. Hi. Oh my God. NPM is here. Awesome. Awesome. Yay. We're super excited. So Andrea giving you a little heart. Shout out to Rave Cosmology peeps. Ah, that's such a good juicy class. Okay, so when we're all set up and ready, and have we set everything up,
Yeah.
Davidian?
Yeah. Yep. All set up.
Okay. So, yeah, yay. Okay, Kat, thank you so much. You're so welcome. Okay. So let me just test here for a second. Okay, awesome. So I can see the chats. I'm going to pop them up as they come. So Pam is already here. She says, hello, I'm super ready and I'm so blessed. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we have Andrea's here. So cool. And Kat, awesome. Okay, so what I want you to do is, if you are live or if you are listening to the recording, just go ahead and type into the chat your type and your inner authority so we know who is here. So Davidian is a emotional generator, and I am a splenic projector. So let us know which type you are if you are listening here live. It's fun to know who's all here. So yeah, Kat. So next week, I'm actually going to be out of town. So that's really super exciting. I haven't traveled in a while, so I'm very excited. So, okay, great. So Pam is our mental projector. She's a 5-1. And if you guys notice, you can see her chart here. And this is the chart we're going to be doing today. So Davidian, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, Pam, are you ready? Who else is here live? Oh, awesome. Cool. We have Austin James. Oh, great. Another mental projector 4-6. So very cool. So yeah, so mental projectors, you guys will get a lot out of it, but everybody gets something out of the charts, because if you have a similar channel or you have a similar gate, all of these things. Plus, it just really helps when you know how to look at charts, how to read other people's charts. And so it really serves everybody when we do these kind of things. So that's cool. We have Austin, who's a mental projector. Also, Kat is a 5-1 emotional projector. Okay, awesome. So 5-1s, you guys might get something out of this too, obviously, right? So emotional project plus, if you're a projector in general, you're gonna, get intel out of it. So awesome, awesome. I know that Andrea also is emotional. We did her chart last week. So awesome, awesome. Hey Nova, we can hear you.
That's actually Luna. Yeah. So Pam, this is the same caveat I say always. I don't know you, nor do I know where you're at in your self-actualization, your personal evolution. And as you can see here, what I do is called shadow poking. So I mostly look at what may more often be described as shadow material and potentials of where you might get stuck or in your own way. That's really where my eye tends to gravitate. So what I discuss may be things you thought about, but you would never do or entertain, or things you did in the past when you were less conscious, or things you still do. Wink, wink. So this will get personal. So best to let me know now if you prefer me to silence my inner Maury Povich. Raquel, do I have to go ahead?
Huh? She's
Do I have-
laughing.
Okay. And I'm only looking at the various things that are drawing my attention, not everything.
She's all in. She's all in.
Okay. All right. Well,
And
hopefully
welcome everybody else who's here too. We have Wesley Hall, who said he's a splenic projector, but he thinks his dad is a mental projector. So awesome, Wesley. Good to have you. Pam's laughing. She said she's all in. So awesome. Yeah, everybody probably knows a mental projector, whether it's family or kids or someone in their community. So we're really excited about the reading. Pam is all in. She's ready to go. Davidian is, by the way, he is 3955, which is our private. He's a provoker. So he provokes. But here's the beautiful thing about provocation is that when done properly, when invited, which obviously he is fully 100% invited now by Pam, she said all in, it provokes the right spirit. So he sees the things within that, sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable, but what it's doing, it's provoking the right spirit out of people. And it's a really beautiful channel. And actually, it's part of the mutation happening with 2027. So it's all yours, Davidian.
Okay. So again, I'm only looking at the various things that are drawing my attention. And it may not cover all the things that you mentioned about being a mental projector, might, but I'm just going to go with what gets served up first. So,
right.
And obviously there's way more to you than I could possibly convey, and much less so in this, little session sample. All right. So one of the first things that stands out is that you have an undefined 59-6 and a conscious 43-23 with impressive answers at the ready. Similar to last week's shadow poking session with Andrea's chart. I think Andrea might be here.
Well, she has a 59 gate, not the full
gate
channel.
59.
Yeah.
Right. But same with Andrea, I believe.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
unconscious, yeah.
So maybe, and again, I don't want to, I'm just going to say it. I don't know where you're at now. So I'm just going to say things as if this was stuff that happened in your past, maybe. And it's not stuff I know. And there is some bit of like I can't really explain my process. It's not just looking at your chart, but it's where my energy and my attention is directed. So maybe you've simply been intimate with the wrong people so many times that you don't trust that you'll do any better, or the thought of even trying to find the right person to settle down with may be exhausting for you to even consider. Or possibly you found someone later in life, after you figured yourself out enough to not be ruled by your inclinations, or more of an open relationship that works for you. I don't know what I'm getting, but maybe more often than not, it comes down to either they thought they knew you, but they didn't. A theme that may follow you from relationship to relationship since you're a 5, and the fallout of disappointment that being projected on brings, like a boundary you can never penetrate, so why bother? Uh, or being in a relationship with them means you lose your freedom or control in some fashion, or just the possibility of that, whether it's a valid expectation or not, is more oppressive than you're willing to handle. So you may be one who favors partners that are otherwise committed or unavailable for long-term commitments, or the type of partners that are not relationship material for other reasons, or just sugar daddies. And again, this could be something in the past. Or for different reasons, you simply have difficulty in settling down, or maybe you sabotage things before they get too serious. Why might that be? Well, maybe because you're this restless explorer with boundless curiosity. Uh, Perhaps you're an experience collector, always seeking truth and discovery, and maybe a lot of that you prefer to fly solo. And this again, this may prefer secret romances and intriguing partners in different locations, and wouldn't know necessarily who to choose if you had to, because you're either polyamorous or don't ever like anyone enough that they stand out. Again, that could change later in life when you know yourself better. One thing is for certain: environment is huge for you. So you really need to pay close attention to where you're at all times. And when that is off, you need to leave, or you could negatively adapt to your surroundings and meet people who are not good for you romantically or professionally or in any capacity. And you're very adaptable to environments. So your first instinct may be that it'll be fine, nothing you can't handle. You've been in much worse places, so you end up staying and then get to experience non-ideal outcomes. Sometimes you stay because you made some sort of inappropriate commitment or promise that you would maybe help out in some way, and then suffer the consequences because you don't want to have to experience anyone's uncomfortable emotions, which could also explain, if true, that your way of avoiding either messy breakups or stalker ex-boyfriends was to avoid getting into serious relationships to begin with.
Just FYI, Pam's been married 32 years.
Okay, well, okay. Well, what's the quality of that marriage before? Are you totally in love, head over heels? You lucked out? Did you have to sort through some of this stuff before you married?
Married later, she said. She married later in life.
Married later in life.
I think that's what she means, yeah.
Maybe it had to do with commitment fears or discomforts or some sort of something from your past. I see that.
It could be with other relationships as well.
Well, you attract unusual connections that
Yeah.
may lack a level of depth, which you perhaps crave to some degree, but maybe have recognized it was a trade-off because of an unwillingness to stick with someone long enough for something meaningful, like the depth that comes from years of being with someone, which you now have experienced. Another reason may be emotional exhaustion that you experience when you're too open with people. You might be a very private person with your own secrets, and you like maybe having secrets that aren't shared. Plus, these other people end up projecting some idea of you that isn't you, which I could be doing right now, frankly, which they expect you to behave as. And when you don't live up to that projection, you end up paying the price for that in some way, which is emotionally exhausting. And that idea of being bound or having to answer for yourself or your whereabouts or defend your comings and goings is not something you're likely willing to tolerate. Not to say that you're not able to be in, how do I say this? Maybe you had your heart broken before this marriage, and that could be another reason that you favored more casual relationships till you met your husband. Like you were destroyed when a certain relationship ended, possibly tragically, or you convinced yourself that you'll never feel the same way about anyone else ever again, and not even willing to try to entertain that possibility or risk getting your heart broken again. But like I said before, there's this restlessness. Do you travel for a living?
She said that okay, here's a couple of here's a couple comments coming back. So first off, she said that he is a good support, her husband. I think she told me he has the 2343 also and the 634. He's a generator and he has mother issues. Okay. And
Okay.
then she said that she lived as a generator before she learned human design. Okay, so she lived a long time as a generator, and then she also said she didn't trust him before. She didn't trust before him. She didn't trust before him.
Okay. Do you travel?
She said she worked in a grocery store for 42 years and she just retired. Oh, she has mother issues. Sorry. Nicole says this is so interesting. She worked in a grocery store for 42 years and she just retired. So basically, Pam has been living as a generator, living in a generator world for 42 years and she just retired. And she's the one with the mother issues. Wow, Pam. Okay, we are sending you so much love right now and so much light because that's so uncomfortable.
It's so interesting because I'm just getting a lot of travel from you and a lot of just like kind of a feedback loop. You have this cunning mind. You
Hold
have
on 1 second, okay? Kat is asking, is that a common thing with projectors? So, Kat, just really quickly, the common thing with projectors is to live as generators before they find out that they're a projector because we are completely inundated with generator and we are told to be generators really early on. So yeah, it is a very common thing. Sorry, Davidian, go on.
It's okay. It's just so interesting that do you move a lot? Have you moved a lot? Like many different homes, moving multiple times, sometimes in the same year? Has that been the case for you in the past? Where you're moving a lot? Anyway, I'm just not sure. I know there's just this sense of freedom plays a big role. So I'm not sure where that comes from exactly. That's what led me to believe that you'd been stuck in bad relationships before, that were difficult to get unstuck from or out of. You have two channels. You're an individual who lives in cycles. So it's important that you enter into a cycle correctly, or you can get stuck in one that you can't easily get out of. And hopefully you still have your sense of humor when your mind becomes an asshole, because you have a very active mind that can be quite a jerk. And because of your openness, your mind can seem maybe pretty mean at times. Maybe it also serves up some random traumatic images from your past at weird times that don't always make sense. Like disturbing images that just show up at any time. Like, what do you think of this? And then you have to deal with the discomfort and the confusion that those images bring. Things that you may not like to discuss with anyone, things from your past, if you're private. I just get the sense that you're a very private person. And despite your participating in this,
she says she can be a smartass.
so right, it's just so interesting, just the feelings I'm getting, but they're not being confirmed. So I'm not
She's
sure what
very private. She does say she's very private.
very private. I mean, there might be a lot of stuff that I might say, and then maybe some of it will land later. Things that, some of this stuff is kind of maybe embarrassing. I don't know. So about being private, you may not, when these things happen from these images, and they flood your memory, and when you're with a romantic interest or your husband, or I don't know, and they notice something came over you and they say what's wrong, and you don't want to discuss it, but the mood gets weird, and then it's only a matter of time before that becomes an issue, which may provoke them or push them away. Maybe it upsets them that you don't let them in.
She said work relationships.
Work relationships.
Yeah, explanation point.
As far as what?
I'm not sure, Pam. As far as what? What do you mean? I must have missed when she said that originally. Yeah. But she said something you're referring to as far as like relationships. She said for sure in the work relationships, and she's very private. She can be a smart ass. And Kat says maybe the travel is coming. That's what I was thinking too, Kat. It's like, if you are a mental projector, right, and you get caught up in the workflow of being a generator and, in that for a long time, that's a lot of years, then sometimes what it does is it represses certain areas of your chart because you really have a hard time feeling who you are in a generator world, because it's kind of like just being completely washed over in the, especially as a mental projector, it's so easily to get washed over, right?
I would say maybe what's coming forward with maybe the work relationships is maybe sometimes people might tell you their problems and expect you to have the same level of like you to reciprocate, and that's like not what you're about. And it's, that can happen also because of your gate 13. It's undefined, so it's not everyone it will be like that, but there could be something that has to do with that sort of confession.
Mm-hmm.
There's also something about your voice.
She said that she was 32 years in the same location, but the issue was in the work relationships.
In what regard?
So probably the issues that she was having as far as relationships coming in and out and, all the areas you were talking about. She said that's the relationships are the issue in the work, right? I'm supposed to be their magic answer. Yep. And well, that's 5-1 also. Yep.
That's a lot with the 5.
Yep.
Being a 5 is the savior. So it's like you're there to rescue them. And when you don't, then you pay the price for it, even if it's not something that you set yourself it's not like you made yourself the leader. It's they made you a leader and then you failed them without even knowing that you had worked out this little arrangement.
So, she says yes.
I don't know. There's something with your voice, like something like, is like maybe a quality to your voice? You have like no. Is there anything does your voice like play a role in your life? Like, I've never heard your voice, so this is sort of going out on a limb. But your voice figures in somehow. There's something about the quality of your voice. Are you a singer, or Do you have like a seductive voice, or is there something about your voice? Anything at all? Zero? Something?
Remember, there's a little delay, just so you know, because the comments are coming in after, long after. So just keep talking because she's not going to respond right away to what you're just saying.
Okay. Well, I guess the other thing I'd mention is that you can be skeptical to a fault, to the point that you may doubt your own gifts or belief system, and that like skepticism, even though it's maybe protected you many times, can also keep you stuck. And uh, having a defined head, which is like only 30% of the population, it's difficult to get outside inspiration when you have a defined head in ajna. You're here to inspire others, not necessarily with your words, but people are nonetheless inspired in your presence. But back to your voice. Maybe it's your voice is a huge part of your truth. So there's that.
Yeah. The
Since you
frequency.
have mental authority, when you're facing a decision of some importance, you need to really talk out what's going on for you. So I guess this part is really for all mental projectors, this particular aspect. And why is it important for you to talk out loud? Well, because inside your head, it will all seem like truth or bullshit. Whatever your mind, whatever way your mind is leaning, or whatever conditioning it's glued to. But when those thoughts become words, as they tumble off your tongue and spill from your lips and they hit oxygen, they take on a new quality. And then the frequency of truth and bullshit is detectable. It's really only detectable by your spoken words to yourself when you're detecting your own truth. Truth will have a different gravity to it, solidness, and bullshit will have like this wavering quality that lacks conviction or strength. And when you speak it, you can hear whether the thoughts or positions you've taken actually represent what's true for you, or if it's just stuff you're saying that you've picked up through conditioning. So from one day to another, it may not feel very different for you, as some of your gates that are being activated by the ephemeris, the movement of the stars in your chart. Many of your dormant gates are unconscious. So you may say to yourself that you don't really feel any different than yesterday, but you need to remember that it's your spoken thoughts, not the thoughts alone, that orient you towards your truth. So in lieu of having some friends you can process with who are not going to put their trip on you and just let you like process out loud with maybe some minorly probing, but mostly objective questions, and objective being the key, with them not guiding you to a particular decision with the way they're phrasing their questions. Like they want you to choose a certain, so they're leaning you towards by their questions. Anyway, in lieu of that, it's going to help to record yourself like on your phone or in a vlog type manner. And then after you've recorded yourself and are listening back to what you said, sometimes you may notice in real time, by the way, but you should journal about or jot down what aspects seem true to you, or just stuff you're saying that shouldn't be really part of your decision. Like the apprehension you're discussing, you detect, well, that really doesn't have that much weight. I don't know where that came from. It's really not something that's part of my truth. And then after you've weighted out your process, arrive at a cumulative yes or no, and then just proceed accordingly. I know it's easier said than done, but Since you're a mental projector, it just always comes back to environment. If you're in the wrong environment, it was the wrong invitation anyway. So don't waste your time with long deliberations over things that were either brought to you in a shitty neck of the woods or that didn't check your aura strategy box, to wait until you're truly seen for what you have to offer and then invited based on those things. So there's also, some interesting stuff about pressure to start new things.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the reasons why before, with the relationships, like the pressure to move on, there's this unconscious gate 53. So sometimes it might prompt you to want to start new things and then may get disappointed that they don't pan out because you didn't enter them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Those are the kind of things that might be with the work relationship she was saying.
Yeah, maybe. There's just, it's really interesting. I mean, two of your undefined centers, your solar plexus and your spleen, the gates that are in there, yeah, you're not a finisher.
Yeah, she said yes, new things to start, but then I don't want to finish. Yeah, it's unconscious pressure.
Plus
That's
you
a
have
really
gate
good way.
53, the start,
Yeah.
but not
Yep. To start
42, the
things.
finisher.
Yep.
And then about your gates being the only gates that are in your two centers there are unconscious. So it almost may operate like a open center in some ways because these processes are under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But that 4323, this loud, noisy mind that does better when you're not rehearsing what you're going to say, quite frankly. But 4323 is called the inner ear, like the third ear, instead of like the third eye. It's the third ear, the stuff that you hear that gets served up to you. Meditation may not work well for you.
Yeah, and that's what we talked. The thing is that's interesting is meditation is her tone. So in her motivation and in her view, meditation is the tone. So that's an interesting, what we call that is an inner conundrum, right? Where the meditation is actually really a service to how the mind could speak to her. She said loud and all the time. Yep.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So she says meditation is a struggle. And so Kat says Kat, you have some great comments. I'm going to come back to them too for so hold on one second. So Pam is saying that meditation is a struggle and there's that inner conundrum, right? Because her view and her motivation in tone, right? So the way to kind of, experiment with that, Pam, is discovering all of the many things that are meditative to you. And that might be, from sewing to uh, playing games to walking to listening to something. And so it's kind of an experiment to see what quiets the mind into a meditative state because the meditation is important, even though she's a defined head. So let me go back and read some comments, Davidian, if you're open to that.
Sure.
There's some other comments that came in that I think are really good. So Pam said, my whole life identity has
Kat?
changed. What?
Kat said?
Yeah. So Kat is here. She's going, we're gonna do her reading, not next week, but the week after. But she says my whole life identity's changed since learning about HD in February. Not because of HD, just life, but I'm glad I learned it even existed and the basics before the ish the shish hit the fan for sure. Yeah, you know it's so funny, Kat? That exact same thing happened to me. My whole life was it was like a crisis time when I found out about human design. It didn't necessarily happen because of human design, but I do think that there are no coincidences in life, right? So it was kind of human design was the thing that saved my life really during when all of that went down. Human design was the thing I could lean on. And so it really, really served for me, anyways. Pam also said she has been told that she should write because she can do it so well.
I
So
think
I
so
think,
too. With the 4323, you have a way with words. Probably love the spoken word. Love the way to turn a phrase and whatnot. I think that 4323s make great writers, and it might even be feel like a lot of what you write is dictated to you, like it's given to you and you're writing it down. Like
right.
you're the middleman, not really the one who came up with it necessarily. I mean,
Yeah, and that
ultimately it came through you, but like I give the example of Reiki, as being a channel for Reiki energy. It doesn't start with you, but you have this 4323. So knowings can come through you. And I personally feel like it's more like a Reiki energy that you're a receiver of and not the originator of necessarily. And
mhm,
plus, when you're talking about human design, you're talking about passenger consciousness, where you are just watching it, where you are the witness. You have a seat assignment, and life is happening, and it's not really about you. It's about you watching the life that you incarnated into to live, which is really your red. The red in your chart is the life you're here to live, and the black is who you think you are, and it's a part of your personality. It's these are aspects that you more or less recognize in yourself, and the red is the parts that are not really all that comfortable or resonate, but they're really driving you, and there are things that other people will recognize more readily than you will recognize it in yourself. And when enough people say this is their experience of you and they're from like different circles, then maybe there's something to it. But also at the
mhm,
same time, you're a five. So they're projecting stuff anyway. So that's
right.
um, that much more confusing.
Yeah. And Nicole says so detailed in the breakdown. Yeah, right, Nicole? Yeah, really, really cool detailed breakdown. Hold on. Oh, Kat says she's hoping to do Reiki 1 over the holiday break. Crafting words and I do Reiki, Pam says. Yeah. How cool is that? Okay, so hold on a second. Um Kat says same here, Pam. I've had so many hobbies over the years. All the supplies are still sitting. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, with like starting things. Nature is my relaxed space. Okay, so that's perfect. So nature could be that meditation space, right? Yeah. And then so Pam says she's crafting words and I do Reiki, and Kat says that's so awesome. And let's see, sorry, Kat, you'll love Reiki. Yeah, you will. Davidian has done a lot of Reiki, right?
Yeah, Reiki master teacher.
Yeah.
Um, Pam, do you sleep alone or do you sleep with your husband? Because you definitely, well, I don't know how you fit with your husband. I don't know his chart, but are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay.
So it takes a while. Like I said, there's like a delay. But so I do know that her husband's a generator. I think he might even be
Oh,
an MG. And then he has a 2343 and he has the 6447, I think she said.
well,
Or
that's
the
definitely contributing to you guys uh, digging your relationship with each other. That's that companionship, having those channels in common is huge.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. She said, "Oh, he has 7 centers." Oh my god.
So which which ones did how do I say this? So are you 9 and 0? Are all of your centers defined together? Oh,
No
no
ego
ego or
or
solar
solar
plexus.
plexus. Yeah, he has 7, 7, no ego or solar plexus.
Even electromagnetically, you don't connect. Like you have one gate, he has the other, and you make a channel and then define the solar plexus or the ego. Okay. Well, yeah, it's a little difficult with the delay. Um, but that's like a whole nother thing, the
It's a
composite.
whole other topic. She says
Yeah.
they're sleeping, but not they're sleeping apart, but with not enough room for 20 feet apart. So, but even still, Pam, that's good because for a mental projector, that really makes a big difference to have at least some of your own space, even if it's not enough. It's still that's great that you're able to do that.
So are you our kids make us 9 and now. I see. Okay.
I'm not sure that that's how it works. Because the minute you add kids, then it just turns into a penta. It's not the same as a relationship chart, composite chart. But we'd have to look at it, Pam. We can look at that at another time to really get to know all those 9 and O's. So for those of you listening who may not know what we're talking about, when you have two people that come together, it creates a composite chart. And a composite chart means that it's two people that kind of make a third entity. And what Davidian was referring to is when you have a hanging gate that matches the opposite side of the hanging gate matches the person you're with, it makes a defined channel. And then if you have all of your centers colored in, it's what's called a 9 and 0. But it's only between two people. So the minute you put a third person in there, it turns into a penta and it's a different organization. So um see, I knew there had to be some exceptions to the sleeping together thing. Actually, no. We think in human design, everyone technically, human design suggests that everybody should experiment with sleeping apart. The exceptions are, yeah, that it has to be far enough apart that it's two arm lengths. I've always said I feel like my hubby and I share a brain. Just 7 and 0 on the two of us, no complete channels on the ego or their solar plexus. Oh, okay, yeah.
So
So
7 and
7 and
2 work to do, right?
yeah.
So yeah. Uh, so you have to work at your relationship regularly. But it does help probably that you have any well, this is like a different type of thing. And my knowing or my I've just got tapped out.
Oh, it's okay, boo. We can finish up if you want.
I think we
Um
need to today.
yeah, let's finish up. So you don't, doing a whole reading when you can't see the two charts together, it's really hard on two people.
Plus
That's
with
a
the
hard.
delay, it adds
And there's
another
yeah,
layer.
yeah. So I think it's already 6:40, so it's a good time to wrap up. Hi Trista, she says I'm with Reflector. Both of us have totally open centers and 9 and 0 here. Yeah, no 9 and 0. No 9 and 0. Yeah. So Davidine and I are 9 and 0. It is fun to look at in the partnership dynamics, but clearly, there's so many things to look at in a human design experiment and experience. There are so many ways you can look at things. So it's really fun for us to look at Pam today. Thank you, Pam, by the way, for being here live. It really helps when we do your chart and you're live and we can communicate. And so that was really, really fun. So, Kat, you are next. So you are on the, what do we call that when you're in the,
On deck.
you're on deck. Yeah. So remember, next week we're taking off, but we will do it the following week. if you guys would like Davidian to do a reading for you, then what we're doing now is we're giving a free mini reading with anybody on the docket. Yes, exactly. We're giving this experience during the lives for anyone who goes to Foxy 5D. And there is a link in the description under the educational product. So that's what this is coming with. And it's great too, because what we're doing is it really helps to get to know if you get one of the educational products, and we have more coming, by the way. We have a great one that's on the way. The ones we have there are really informative, and it helps us to really get to know the chart, because like with Pam today, Davidian did a deep dive, and Pam and I have been talking over email. And so now when she goes through her educational products, she's actually getting like a deeper experience. And that's really fun for us. And we hope it's really fun for you guys too. So Amber says, let's see. You go, Kat. Yeah, exactly, Kat. We're excited to do yours next. Amber says, this has been so helpful for me today. Thanks. I'm also a mental projector with 2343. Oh, Amber, awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, it really does help to look at charts. It really, really does help. And Kat says, I'm so excited. Yay! So thank you so much. And Pam said, Davidian, I really appreciate this. It really has helped. Oh, that is so awesome. Yeah, it really helps to have like kind of just the fun to look at the chart and go a little bit deeper. So Trista said, I came in late. I have the 2343 too. Yeah, awesome. Well, we're glad you made it. Lastly, I just want to say that for those of you guys who want to join in this Friday at 1:30, like I said, I'm doing a bonus class for the community. It's on global cycles, which is the 2027 shift that we have, which is really, really fun topic. And I really, really encourage you guys to come if you haven't been to one of our live classes. They're really fun. They're on Zoom, so they're a little bit easier in order to like see charts and communicate and connect with you guys. So if you're listening to the recording, you're here live, then you can just go ahead and email support. I'm going to put it in the chat at raquelreina.com, and just email us and say, hey, I want the link for Friday, and I will email it to you. It's Friday at 1:30. Okay, so it's a really, really fun. So Kat, you have the 2343. Oh my god, we have a lot of freak to geniuses here. Davidian has it too. Yep. Davidian's got the 2343, so we have a lot of 2343s today. How fun. So have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening, and that was really awesome. Thank you so much, Davidian, and everybody who was here live. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Do you anything you want to add, Davidian?
Nope.
Okay, guys, we will see you not next week. Remember, next week I'm out of town. For those of you who want to follow my little trip, I'm going to try and do some posts on Instagram and on TikTok. So come find me. Mwah! I love you guys, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Not next week, but the week after. Bye, guys.